I remember very well. I remember Michelle telling me all the reasons why she can't.
Lots of reasons.
And that's what we do. That's human nature. And I think what you need to do is change your mindset and shift. Make that shift. Tell me all the reasons why you can.
Just over 3 years ago, I started working with a health and fitness coach because I wasn't doing enough to take care of my body. And while I'm not a size 2, I certainly have made strides in my health, my strength. I'm leaner and stronger than I have been in a long time. And in this video, I've invited my health and fitness coach, Coach Kim from the K Factor Coaching, to come out and show me more about how I am using my garden tools, help me to use them better, learn how to make the most of all the things I'm doing in the garden, and to help add to my workouts so that I can be even stronger and healthier. This video is a long one, but I hope that you enjoy it. I wanted to leave as much information as I could because there were so many little nuggets here and there that I hope will be helpful to you. And we managed to throw in a few garden tips along the way. I hope you enjoy it. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and welcome back to my meadow. I'm gardening in zone 9A in Northeast Florida. I'm not an expert gardener, but I love showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and embracing the imperfection that learning to garden has to offer. First up, raking. Actually, this will be a good one.
Okay. All right, let's talk about form here with the rake.
Okay.
For exercise, think about the rake as a row. The exercise, the row, exactly. Just like what we do with our dumbbells. So when you're holding the rake and you're rowing, right, you're working your back. Turn around this
Oh, sure.
way. Pull your arms back. Right in between the shoulder blades, you want to squeeze. When you're, like if you're rowing a boat, you're gonna squeeze back, right? That's the same motion for the rake. The other thing is you wanna make sure your feet are aligned with your hips, that you're centered, you're bracing your core, squeeze those glutes, right? And let's rake. And when you're pulling, right, you're squeezing those shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades. So you wanna pay attention to that and have good footing and squeeze.
All right.
And pull. Exactly.
And then one thing you told me before too, before I had my shoulder surgery even, is that as I'm doing these kind of things, make sure I'm swapping arms to get distribution.
Exactly.
Switch sides and go the other way because I got to put it back.
Good. And right.
All right, cool.
And I think everybody, you know, you're going to hold the rake a certain way with your hands, what works best with your body and your ergonomics, right? Pulling the rake. So you want to make sure that you're not in a hurriedly way where you lose your grip. Grip strength is really important, and as you garden, you'll notice on the different things that we're going to be doing, the grip strength on the handle. You may need to wear gloves to protect your hands.
Next up, a little shoveling with my Bully American-made shovel.
Hey, Michelle, let me give you some pointers
Okay.
on using that shovel.
Okay.
All right, so using a shovel, we're going to be using our lower body, our glutes, our hamstrings, our quads, right? So it's similar to a squat. So you know when we do squats in the gym, right? And so what's our foot position, right? Our feet are hip width apart,
Right.
chest out, shoulders back. We keep our chin up so we have really good form. In other words, we're not just willy-nilly like this with the shovel, right? So we want to work with intention. So you're going to put this in, right? And you're going to use your foot a lot of times, right? To get the shovel down into the soil. Once you've got your shovel loaded, right?
Yeah.
The proper form to pick up the load is a squat.
Okay.
So you're going to make sure your feet are hip width apart. And your chest out, shoulder back, your chin up. And you're going to be using your glutes. You're going to drive your weight up through the heel of the foot, depending how heavy the load is, right? And we're going to stand up, right?
Okay.
So we're not just keeping our knees straight and using our back.
I'm not bending over at my back.
No,
I'm really
we're
trying
hip
to do this.
hinging. We're hip hinging. sticking our glutes out, come down.
And no matter whether I'm trying to work out or not, this is going to be better form for me, period.
Right.
Whether I'm trying to exercise or not, it's just going to be better form in the garden.
I think we get hurried along. We're not paying attention to form. And that's where we throw our back out, or we'll get a pinch in the side because you're not lifting the load evenly and coming up. Exactly.
Okay. One thing I have learned is, and I don't do it enough, is really starting with gloves makes the gardening experience better. I have made the mistake of getting my hands really dirty, then putting on gloves, and then you end up with little burns and abrasions on your hands. So a nice pair of gloves, great way to start. And so now I'm off to do some weeding.
All right.
So normally I would just lean down in here, Kim, and pull weeds. No? No?
No, no,
No?
no, no, no. Okay. Weeding is on the ground, right? One thing you can do is go down into a squat, right? So you want to go down into a squat. So whatever squat's comfortable for you, feet hip width apart, chest out, shoulders back, chin up, and you're going to come down. Exactly. And you're going to weed in the squat position so that when you're going to stand back up, you're going to push up through the heel of your foot to come up.
I see the difference.
Right. And push up through the heel of your foot. And you can also, if for some people maybe more of a narrow squat works, where your legs are closer together. Whichever works for you.
Okay.
But you're not,
I'm not just
in other
bending
words,
over.
You're not bending over and coming up with your back. When you're squatting, you're standing up and you're pushing up your body weight with your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. Everything's working in your lower body to help you to stand back up again.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. We have a little bit taller bed down here. Let's take a look at that.
I think a raised bed is a great advantage because you don't have to squat so low. You don't have to stoop down to the ground level. And I think a hip hinge works just fine.
All right.
Right?
After a while, does this just become muscle memory if I keep practicing it?
At some point, yes, you're going to remember the form to use with each different position and level that you're working at in the garden. But I will say one thing where form suffers, and that's when you don't take a break and you just keep going and going and going and going. Your body gets fatigued. What happens when you get fatigued? You sort of let everything go to the wind and you don't focus on form, and that's the very time you get hurt. So always be mindful. And that's why I say when you take a break, even if you set your cell phone alarm, hey, in 30 minutes I'm going to take a break, because that forces you to get your water, go stand in the shade, get your breath back, and regroup. And then, yes, that muscle memory is there, but you're not going to be fatigued to where you're going to get sloppy, let it go. Especially, say you're going to go pick up a big bag of soil right after you spent 30 minutes, right? And then you're going to go run and get a bag of soil. Well, you're not rested. You're probably not going to use your good form picking up that bag of soil. And that's usually where the back goes. So you need to really be careful.
Okay. My sunflowers are up! Yeah. This is a
in the
sunflower.
jungle.
You're in the
I'm
jungle.
in the jungle.
In the jungle, the mighty. So I have a couple of things going on here. One, I've got some weeds to pull. And two, I see some tomatillos. And I would normally not reach too far for them. I would reach in the bed. That's the nice thing about having this. Right. So for my form here, I'm going to see if I can remember just from what you've said. I'm still well planted, flex knees, and I'm reaching in here and pulling. And as I'm going, this is like our rope pull.
Exactly.
This is like the rope pull, but lateral. Okay. Oh, actually, it's the same. I'm just not laying down. Right. Okay. All right. So I can reach in and come out with a tomatillo.
Right. There you go.
I can reach in
there you go.
and come out with another tomatillo, and I'm a winner because I got 2 tomatillos.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And so no matter where I am in the bed, because it is raised up, I still want to think about my form, especially when I'm reaching further in.
Right. And this is just like when we do our standing ab workout, where we're working our core and we do it standing, where we're twisting side to side,
Okay,
bending over, hip hinging. So say if you had to get in the middle, you can flex those knees and you can bend at the hip hinge, stick your butt out, and you can reach into the middle.
And reach in the middle,
Right. Instead
no
of just bending over,
Okay,
not thinking about what you're doing. Very good.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Michelle, how do we know when they're ready to be harvested?
So you know when tomatillos are
How
ready
do
to be
you do
harvested is because the paper's coming off. You can hold the vine and just pull. There you go.
Yeah,
Just like that. See how the paper's coming off?
Oh, I learned something in
And-
the garden.
And so I don't know if you can eat tomatillo raw. That's a good question. I never have. It's really sticky, but what happens when you roast these up, this is what we use to make salsa verde.
Okay.
And so I put these in, I rinse them, I put them in the air fryer, I caramelize them basically, and then I throw them in the blender with a bunch of other tasty ingredients and make some really good salsa
Oh, I see
verde.
it on the ground.
Yeah, there's probably one on the ground.
No, the one you just dropped.
Oh, did I drop it?
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
thank you. Thank you.
Right here.
And often I will come out in the garden without my bucket, and so I find myself like this walking around.
These higher raised beds are such a benefit for people that have a limited range of motion, because just think about it. If you didn't have your garden up in a raised bed, it would be so challenging for you to manage everything, to plant and to weed and to harvest. So with a raised bed like this, if you have limitations, those limitations are removed because now you can reach everything. You can weed, you can plant, you can harvest, you can do everything that you need to do with ease. And how rewarding is that? So I love this. I'm just really grateful to see that you have all these different levels. And I think that from going to the ground up to these raised beds, I can definitely appreciate the benefit of this.
Michelle, which bed is this?
This is the Vigo bed. It's a 32-inch high bed. This is the 9-in-1 from Vigo Garden. And in full disclosure, I am an affiliate for both Vigo and Birdie's. So if you choose to make a purchase through any of the links I share, I will get a small commission that helps support this channel, helps us come out here and do this in the garden, and it supports my family. So I'm very grateful when you click those links.
Oh, Michelle, I love these lights on the side. How cool is that? You can come out here and do your workout at night.
These are from Vigo Garden. They are just a magnetic light like that. They actually sent these to me as a thank you. And really a fun thing, because somebody asked this on another video, if they will work on the Birdie's bed. And actually, we'll turn the shot around and look over here. The ribbing is the same, and they do fit right on the Birdie's bed as well. So with this ribbing the same, I haven't tested all their different accessories, but I do think that many of the new accessories that are out for Vigo, if you have a Birdie's bed, will probably work. I'm coming out. I want the world to know I got to prune some more. All right, next up, we're going to do a little pruning and talk about that with Coach Kim. So something like this, I do have to prune from time to time. I would normally just take my pruners and just reach in all different directions, but I have a feeling you have an opinion about that.
I do. Well, one thing, let's talk about the actual movement.
That's all right.
The pruning shears, right? So what this is doing is working your grip strength. It's working your bicep, right? So as you're squeezing, you feel that?
Yes.
You feel that in your forearm?
Yes.
Right? It's working all these muscles in your arm right up into the shoulder there. Right, exactly. So
Really
as
good.
you're,
I feel it in my shoulder, like from my shoulder
as
surgery.
you're squeezing, and that's why you need to be careful with the diameter of what you're pruning, because some people will take these and try to cut a big stalk off or
Yeah.
what have you, and that's where you could strain your hand. Your ligaments and your tendons and your hand, your wrists, everything. You need to be really careful.
And so, yeah, I can actually, even this, because I had the shoulder surgery where they repinned it back together in
Right.
4 places, I can actually feel this all the way up here. That surprises me. I've not thought about it.
Because awareness is key and safety is key. Being aware of all your movements in the garden, all the tasks that you're doing, all the ways that your body is moving, right down to this pruning shears,
Yeah.
right? So squeezing is a grip strength. Squeezing. Use a full range of motion when you're using those shears.
Okay.
Full range of motion.
All right, so I'm going to trim back this little vine right here.
Mhm.
It's just a little vine, but so I need good form for where I'm
Right.
standing.
Right.
If I'm reaching across my body, I
Right.
still need to have good form there.
That's a good twist. You're working your obliques when you're twisting. Exactly.
Gotcha.
And squeeze.
And squeeze. And so I'm going to go
Good.
down to this end. And I do tend to just stick my arm out and reach and stretch.
Right.
Is that okay?
That's a good twist. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Michelle, are the leaves edible?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, all the parts of the loofah are edible. I will tell you though, hang on, let me find a small one. If I can find a small one. Here, hop over here. So this is a baby female loofah sprout flower. It hasn't flowered yet. That one, the flower's open. What I've discovered is even though it's edible, it's really bitter. And so I would not want to eat them at that size. Maybe if they got cut and they were sauteed, but just to eat it right off the plant, no thank you. But I do think the leaves can be stir fried. All the stems can be stir fried, just a matter of what you're doing here. We're actually we have one up there
I
that
love the
we'll
curly.
harvest. Yeah, the tendrils come out. Over here, actually, we have one we're letting it go to seed.
Oh, I love it.
See this big one in here?
Oh, look at that.
That we're gonna actually make a loofah sponge out of.
Oh, I love
So it's just growing up and growing old.
it. Love it.
And you can see the effect of having big heavy rains. Look at this over here. Actually, you can look through this way, Kim. It'll be easier for you. Look at this squash right, where'd it go? Right here?
Oh, I see.
See how it's all
Yeah.
swollen right here?
Yes, yeah.
That is, from what I understand, that's because we had a big heavy rain and it filled up. Just like sometimes when your tomatoes split, your melons will do that sometimes too in the squash family. All right, now I discovered something today over here and I want to show you and you can tell me if it's good or not good, right? So this bed is really sturdy. This is really sturdy. And so while this isn't technically gardening, this is a place I could stop, but my form isn't right, is it?
No, no.
Okay.
Well, first thing I want to say, this is kudos to you for being a gardener that is actually doing exercises outside of the garden. So push-ups, many levels of push-ups. You can do them on the wall, you can do them off the kitchen counter. Michelle has taken the push-up down to the garden bench, right? So let's talk about form here. What you want to do is you're going to put your weight right on your wrists, shoulder width apart, but you want to come out onto your toes. So your body is straight, your back is straight, and you come down, and you push up, right? Not like this,
That's what I was doing.
right?
All right.
So you want to be straight out. This is a plank, right? Same exercise. We're holding a plank.
Okay.
Squeezing your glutes, pulling in your belly button, bracing your core, and just holding your body weight. You could do this for 30 seconds.
Or 3. But I'll get there.
Mountain climbers.
Now she's got to get fancy. I love it
Do
though.
10 or 15 reps of these. So these exercises for upper and lower body weight will make you a stronger gardener, right? Perfect. There you go. Good job.
That's as far as I can go for now.
You know what? That's perfect. What you do is you start up on the wall
Okay.
and you make your way down to the different levels.
Okay. So the other thing I have going on in this bed is kind of a reach, is this is where the subpods are, where I feed the worms.
Okay.
And so I've already pulled this back, and so I can open this up. And so I am down in here. I take this tool, I'll pull back my towel or what have you, and then I am digging in here. So that, and I find myself doing this. Now that you've shown me the other things, I know that's not right.
I think you're going to hip hinge,
Hip hinge.
slightly bend your knees, hip width apart for your feet, hip hinge, and then lean over, straight back, right into the. Now you may need to scoot up to the. There you go.
Okay, so is it okay if I lean?
I think so
Okay,
because
'cause I gotta be able to reach
actually,
it.
yeah, because you don't want to be overextending too far.
Okay.
There you go.
And then I do switch hands.
Yes. Definitely the balance is really important. If you work the same side all the time,
Come take a look
you
at
get,
this.
you get off balance. Ooh, nice.
Look at those beauties.
Nice.
Look at those beauties.
So you do want to alternate. That's why when we work out in the gym, we do our bicep, then we work our tricep. We're always working the front and the back. We always work the left and the right. Sometimes people will have an injury or have a surgery on their knee or something, and they just want to work the good leg. I'm like, nope, we work both legs together. So you wait till you're done with your surgery and your physical therapy, and then we'll go back to working out. Same thing with your arms. So you want to make sure you're alternating and keeping your body in balance.
My gardener friends already know this, but hoeing ain't easy. So actually, this is probably one of the hardest things for me, particularly with my shoulder, you know, is trying to get in here and hoe things up. I do know to switch sides, but I know for sure that I am not getting my good form. And I'm thinking about what you showed me with the rake, but what you're saying is I want to have good form. I should be using my butt to hoe.
You should be hip hinging anytime that you are in this motion.
Okay.
Hip hinge, right? So your energy is all back here. You're not using your back. You don't want to strain the back. You
Okay, so this is deadlifty.
It's like a deadlift movement, right? Chest out, shoulders back, your chin's up. And when you're using upper body strength, you're pulling like a row, just like with a rake. So you're squeezing those shoulder blades. And you want to be switching arms. Don't use the same dominant arm.
I usually count to like 10 or 15 or something.
That's a good idea. I think the most important thing is just like a baseball player, a volleyball player, you know, they're standing at the ready to get the ball, right? So nothing that comes at you is going to knock you over. And so what if you hit a tree root or something happened where you got off balance? You would be locked in, right? Nothing's going to tip you over. And you can be more efficient at using the tool if you have a good foundation with your stance. And by having a straight back, bracing your core, pulling in your belly button, and your energy and your legs are engaged, right?
Right.
And then your workout is actually this motion here with that hoe, digging, right? How many reps each? 15 each arm, right?
Okay. All right. All right.
So that's a good form for that one.
Next up, we're going to talk about these kind of loppers and hedge trimmers. If you saw my video with the lemongrass, I kind of tucked my elbow in and tried to do this as much as possible, and I have to tell you, that was a mistake. I should not have done that. My physical therapy folks, my PA told me it'll be at least 2 years before I should make these big chopping motions. I am now 1 year and 2 months, 1 year, 3 months since my surgery. And so we're going to have Coach Kim demonstrate how you can do these with good form so that I don't have to injure my shoulder again, because we don't want any more of that. Coach Kim, I'm going to give these to you. I'll let you come on in the shot.
What are these called? Lopper?
I would call them hedge
lopper?
trimmers. They're hedge trimmers, but they're the same.
Okay.
A lopper, a hedge trimmer, they're all kind of the same motion.
Okay.
Scissor motion.
So the first thing I notice is they are heavy. They're heavy in the front, and if you remember me explaining to you all, when we hold a dumbbell out like this, if I'm holding these, say they weigh 5 pounds, they probably weigh what, 3
pound, maybe a pound and a half. Yeah.
All right, so we're holding this up to our body. It weighs 1 pound. When I hold it out here, it weighs 2 pounds. If I hold it like this, it weighs even more because the end is heavier.
Okay.
Right? Farther away the weight is, the heavier it is. So keep that in mind. If you're using these and you're extending yourself, that's not very good form. So you should be close to where you're trimming, obviously. But with this, first thing I notice also is the grip in my hand. So if you have small hands, this could be, is this hard for you to handle at all?
I haven't used it very much because of my shoulder surgery.
Because they feel, in my hand, they feel kind of big. But I think that's one thing too. If you're using tools, the handles are too big. I know they make left-handed handles and right-handed scissors. You know, in your garden center, you can always try different tools and the size of the handles and the grip for you, because not all grips are the same, right? So
Are you telling me I got to get a grip?
yeah, you need to get a grip. All right, so using these, the first thing also that I'm noticing, the motion is like a butterfly. So when we're using our dumbbells and we're pulling back, we're stretching our pecs up here, right? And when I'm squeezing my shoulder blades, right? So you can feel that in the shoulder, and I can feel that in my chest. And if you're cutting something that's hard to cut through, like I don't know how big a round this would cut, but I guarantee you're gonna feel it when you get to that cut. You're gonna feel that stretch. So,
well, even on the lemongrass, which is a thin grass, it's fibrous. Even on the lemongrass,
was it hard?
It was hard. I could tell that it was hard for me.
So
and
again,
maybe they could use a sharpening too, but
right. So again, feet should always be hip width apart. Pay attention to your form, that you're locked in, you're grounded. Chest out, shoulders back, chin up. Look at what you're doing. Pay attention to your form and move out and in. Squeezing. Squeeze. Even right now, just using this, I feel a stretch right here across my pecs. So you can pull back and out. Right? Make it a workout.
okay.
Don't just go like this. Make it a workout.
So really get in there.
Stretch.
Okay.
Stretch.
All right.
Got my heart rate up, and I'm not even cutting anything.
I'm telling you, this really, when I cut the lemongrass, I was very surprised. I thought I could cheat and sort of tuck in my elbows.
Yeah, you should have a full range of motion.
Yeah, it wasn't a good choice. It wasn't a good choice.
Yeah, I think if you use a full range of motion, you're going to get the full benefit of the actual workout.
Cool. We missed recording the intro, but in this section I'll be doing lifting, lowering, and hauling. So, normally something like this, I do squat first because I know about my back, and so normally I would do this. That's what I would normally do, though I'm not doing it perfectly, I know. That's how I do it. And then if I was carrying it, because of my shoulder, I tend now to favor my left side. Sometimes be careful. I can hook, but I don't have, I know it's not there yet. I mean, I don't have the strength that I had before my shoulder surgery. And so, show me, guru.
I think to be mindful when you're picking up something is, I wouldn't just grab this, right? And I don't know how heavy this is, but again, and I can't say this enough, form. So your feet should be hip width apart. Chest out, shoulders back, your chin up, right? So you're going to start to flex those knees, stick your butt out, you're going to come down, you're going to pick up the bag, right? So you're down here like this, and you're going to drive it up through the heel of the foot, right? Putting it down. Up. I'm using my legs. I'm not bending over with my back and doing this.
Okay, so the way I've been doing it is wrong. Hashtag fail.
So you want to always squat to pick things up. So
I'm not sure I can squat that low, Coach, so what's the alternative?
Out, shoulders back, chin up, and you're going to squat down and pick it up.
Try.
Y'all want me to try? Okay, I'll
try.
try. Maybe I'll surprise myself.
So you can use a wide stance, a sumo if
that's
wide.
true.
Remember your toes are at 10 and 2 o'clock.
Okay.
You can squat and pick it up.
Okay. My arms aren't as long as yours. Okay, I'm going to try again. It's okay. Keep recording because...
Grab the bag if you need to.
All right.
There you go. Good job. You did that with a sumo squat.
Sumo!
Right? The whole idea is the back isn't what you're using.
I'm using my legs.
Your hamstrings, your legs. That's what we're picking it up with. That's where the
Holy
strength
moly.
is.
Okay.
Not in the back.
I'm going to go throw this in the wagon. I want to show you because of my shoulder, I tend to not just drag with one arm.
Right.
I tend to put both of them back.
Right. Good work. That's good. Chest out, shoulders back, chin up. Good posture.
Yeah. Out here on the flat, it's not a big deal, but I really can tell a difference when I'm going up the hill, you know. So then I have to dig in.
But you need to keep that chin up. Look where you're going.
Okay, chin up.
Yep. Chin up. Look where you're going. Good job. All right. I think that's the one thing too is form, even when we're walking. Chest out, shoulders back, chin up, so you can see where you're going. Looking ahead at the ground, so I can see what's ahead of me, but don't walk like this, because that tends to roll your shoulders in.
Okay.
That tends to get poor posture. Plus, one thing we haven't talked about is breathing when you're working. So on exertion, you breathe out, right? So for instance, the squat, so when we're coming down, I'm breathing in. When I'm pushing my weight up, I'm blowing out.
Okay.
So on exertion, you blow out. When you're working in the garden, you're working heavy. I mean, it's a heavy workout sometimes, and you forget to breathe. Some people hold their breath, you know, and it's like, oh, I'm exhausted. But the muscles need oxygen, and so you really do need to pay attention to your breathing, making sure that you're taking those nice, deep cleansing breaths into your belly and exhaling. And that's really important. And and that's the other reason why I say, you know, take the breaks.
All right.
Because form suffers. So dragging that wagon, by the time you get up here, you're just like, ugh.
Well, and I can tell you, I don't have on my heart rate monitor, but I can tell you my heart rate is up a little bit. And it doesn't seem like much. For folks who don't know the yard, the elevation difference from just where the shed is to where I'm standing is about a foot difference. And then all the way from the creek side back there at the creek top to my patio is almost a 4-foot difference. All right.
Very good.
So now, how about some buckets?
Buckets, farmer carry.
Farmer carry.
The farmer carry. This is a totally awesome core workout. As we age, we tend to lose our balance and our flexibility. Why? Because we don't have a strong lower body and strong core. When you are carrying things, when you're carrying things around the garden, first of all, chest out, shoulders back, chin up, right? Shoulders are back. You're holding on to some heavy weight here. And you need to be sure that your posture is good, because when you're pulling in your core, again, you're supporting that back. That back needs support, and that's what your core is doing, in your abs, your obliques, right? So when you're walking with these buckets through the yard, chest out, shoulders back, your chin's up.
So when we have an exercise like this that we do with our weights.
Right.
We're actually going out to the side.
Our shoulder muscles,
Now these buckets, for clarity, these buckets are empty right now. This is for demonstration. I'm not lifting like a heavy bucket up with my shoulder, but I have to tell you,
I would get upset with her, because these are little muscles right here that we're working. You do not use heavy weight with those, right? So we usually use what, 3 pound, 5 pound weights. We don't use heavy weights when we do these raises here.
but even this raise, even with just this little bit of weight versus this, versus 2 empty buckets, I can feel a difference on those.
Right.
I feel a difference on lifting that, but I don't have my core in, so.
And we don't lift higher than our shoulders, so you want to be level with your shoulders.
Okay.
And then we resist the gravity coming down. And then we snap it up, and we resist coming down, right? Resisting the gravity. That's where you take the deep breath up, and you blow out. That's right. There you go.
One of the things that I do, Coach, and again, I try to work in little extra movements as I'm gardening. So like I needed to move a bucket the other day, and I only had the one. So I literally, on my way to my destination, I did one-armed rows, and then I stopped and switched and did one-arm rows again. I used like 3, it was 3 reps,
Very
but I
good.
figure every rep I get,
Do double row.
every rep I get's another rep.
Double row.
Okay, double row.
Working out in the garden. Let's go. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Squeeze. Squeeze. Very good. You move a little slower, resisting the gravity. Up. and down, and up, hold for 2, and down. There's so many different intensity levels, and I think you see that in the garden with different movements and different things that you're doing. Because you can have a high on intensity level on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being super easy, 10 being super hard.
Right.
And that's how your breathing is, and can you say your ABCs?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
So right now you're at a level of probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But once you can only say a phrase, or maybe only A, B, C, have to take some breaths, that could be a level 7, 8. Level 9, you can say A, B, and then at 10, you're maxed out,
Okay.
right? So
Okay. That's good. That's
there's
good.
different levels of intensity.
Now, we don't do a whole lot front raises, but it's the same.
We do rows.
We do rows.
High pull like this.
High pull.
Right. Pulling up. And we do this. We do front raises like this.
I don't know if you knew
We
this.
did them this morning.
Well, I saved my workout for today. I don't know if you knew this or not, but when I first started working out with you, I couldn't do a high pull. I could only get to here with my shoulders.
In this last section, we wander a bit away from gardening, but I thought the conversation was great, and I wanted to share this with you as well.
So even though I know my body composition is different, you know, I haven't taken off 1,000 pounds or anything like that, but my clothes are looser. Even my skinny tight clothes are looser. This shirt, we talked about this shirt didn't used to come down. I used to have to like yank it to pull it down, but I'm making small improvements, and I definitely don't get as winded just coming up the hill.
Right.
Just that.
I think there's a big misconception here, because a lot of people think, oh, I need to diet and I need to lose weight. No, you don't need to lose weight. Our weight consists of muscle. Our weight consists of water. Our weight consists of fat. What do you want to do? You want to build muscle. You want to burn the fat. And we want to stay hydrated. So don't say I'm going to lose weight, because no, you don't. You want to burn fat.
I'm transforming.
And you're transforming. Our body composition changes. You could have 2 people walk in the room and weigh 200 pounds. One could be obese and one could be fit.
Okay.
Muscle weighs a pound. A pound is a pound, right? So one person could be muscular with low body fat, and one person could have high body fat percentage, right? So that's the difference, but they both weigh the same.
Okay.
It's body composition, and I think people get so hung up on the scale. How often do I ask you to stand on a scale?
Once every 12 weeks.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, we don't focus on the scale. We focus on how our clothes fit, and that's the thing where I support Michelle in the garden. And if you're a gardener, I encourage you to pay attention to your form. Focus on how you're standing, how you're moving, bracing your core, really using your glutes, your energy, those large muscle groups, our glutes, our hamstrings, our legs, our chest, our back. These are our strong muscle groups. So try not to use your back so much. That's why I keep stressing our stance and how we're standing and moving. And I give Michelle credit, because her transformation and her body composition changes have happened right here in this meadow. Right here in this meadow.
Muscles in the meadow!
Muscles in the meadow for sure, and I fully support that. And that's the beauty about working this program with people, because I meet them where they're at.
Right.
Michelle doesn't have to go to a gym, right?
I have
This is her
one.
gym, and when you know how to properly use your equipment, when you're dressed for success and you wear your right gear, and you try to eliminate any issues for any type of injuries, you're going to lead a long, healthy, happier life, and a happy gardening life, because you won't have to sit inside and look out and see weeds growing, because you can't get out there and weed your garden, right?
Right. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen with Michelle.
That's not going to happen.
No. So I just commend you, and I'm
Thank you.
proud of you and your success and how far you've come.
Thank you.
And it all happened right here, and it's an honor to be here with you today.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm all sweaty
honor.
hugs.
It's
Sweaty
an honor.
hugs. Sweaty hugs.
It's an honor to be here.
Yes. So many people want to know how Coach found me, or how I found Coach. We actually met at a networking function, and you were the president at the time, and you invited me in to be a speaker for the event, and then we just became close after that, and then we just stayed connected, and we've worked together on a variety of projects. And when you started the K Factor, you and I started working together on making mussels in the meadow. For me, I was already living at this property, and I wasn't sure that I could do it. I was actually pretty hesitant. Do you remember any of that?
I remember very well. I remember Michelle telling me all the reasons why she can't.
Lots of reasons.
And that's what we do. That's human nature. And I think what you need to do is change your mindset and shift. Make that shift. Tell me all the reasons why you can. We focus on what you can do, right?
Right.
And that's what we started doing. We started focusing on everything that Michelle could do.
Right.
And then before you knew it, she was doing all those things she thought she couldn't do.
Right.
And she's stronger than she knows.
Right.
And I think that's the other thing you discovered. And also regarding nutrition, I mean, focusing on whole foods. And I think that's the one thing that is so inspiring about the Meadow and all that you're doing with growing, because I've learned so much from you. And I think that's what it's about, is meeting each other halfway and learning together and growing together. And so our friendship has just evolved over time into now. I mean, we're going to live to be over 100. I mean, I just know it. She's going to be growing blueberries, and I'm going to be coming over here 100 years old eating my blueberries before a race. And yeah, so we're going to just be rocking it and filming these videos in our hundreds.
I like that. I like that. Hey everybody! So this is the shed. It's a 20 by 10. We're going to get some new windows. There's still plenty of organization to do. I've already been thinking about, Coach, like ways I might grab a little extra workout stuff in here, like just coming up the stairs and doing my
You do calf raises?
my calf raises in the door.
Right, very nice.
All of the tools will get organized up on the wall. We have more shelving ideas. A lot of folks have wanted to know, like, if I will do a follow-up video on how I get it organized. Of course I will. I can't wait. And I would love ideas if anybody's got ideas, because I've never had a useful workshop before. I've had a shed where everything just gets shoved in, but I really want this to be a workshop. I've now got the space to receive product in, so for any companies that want me to do reviews, or they're sending in garden beds or whatever, I've got the space here to do that. In fact, I've got one item here. This is from Garden in Minutes. This is going to be really cool. We're going to do an irrigation video sometime in the next couple of weeks, because it's that time of year we really, I mean, it's either hit or miss in Northeast Florida with the rain. Either we've got plenty or we don't have enough. It's not really a thing. So I'm excited to get that on the potato bed. Start setting up drip irrigation. So just all kind of projects in waiting out here. But I'm just so thrilled to have this space. And just imagine this, you guys. Every time I needed something, I was either going in the house through the garage to come back over here. And so it's really nice to have it all out here together. Thank you for staying to the end. I hope that it was helpful for you. I am really grateful for Coach Kim coming on and sharing that. If you want to know more about her coaching programs, I'll be sure to link to that. I'll even pin a comment so you can find her and find her YouTube channel. Until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, take rest breaks so your form doesn't suffer, and as always, have a fantastic day. Crazy, huh?
Oh my gosh, Michelle, look at you.
Didn't the boys do a nice job getting this cleaned up?
I love it. Look at all the little, you got another dragon fruit there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you see how easily distracted I am.
I know.
Look
That's
at
why I'm
those
keeping-
tomatoes.
I'm going to keep you on track. Don't worry.